2020 coming in drippy.
Drip, drop. Yeah, 2020.
2020 is drippy. 2019 was trippy. We was tripping a lot.
Yeah, I was tripping. What?
Ooh,
wow.
man.
Wow, bro,
man.
we have made it to another
Alhamdulillah.
year.
But keep in mind that not everybody makes it. Like, we're getting hyped for the new year and everything.
Some people are crawling past the line.
Some people legitimately did not make it. Whether, they went, I met our Lord on the 30th or the 34th. The 31st, I'm sorry. They legitimately did not make it. So
you got deep with me.
Hey, I heard some last week, which was on point. Where now you're going to 2020. Now that we're in it, plan as you'll live forever, but live as if you'll die today. So I did love that, because
yeah.
That's a good thing to live by.
Yeah,
Ain't nothing guaranteed, brother.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, you only have this very moment. I'm reading a book. It's called Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I highly recommend it if you are looking for a book that's going to kind of, get you in your I need to stay in the moment bag. Like,
yes.
I don't need to overreact to everything that's going on. And I feel like a lot of people like that for this coming year.
We reading this year, man.
Yeah, we reading. Yeah, we open up books.
Right, no more memes gonna be the life of us. Nah, man.
Yeah. So I started reading this book, and one of the biggest things he talks about is how we have to stay in the moment that we're in. And it's funny how he wrote this, 300 B or AD. Right?
What?
Bro, this book was written.
This is a historian?
Nah, Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor.
Oh,
yeah. So he ruled until like 317 AD, something like that. So you gotta remember, this dude wrote this book even before Prophet Muhammad, peace and praise be upon him, was even alive.
Grace this earth, dang.
Is that crazy? So, but that book is still relevant today. And like bro, just get it. It's a good book. We're not starting off 2020 talking about book club, but look, I'm ecstatic. I think 2019 was good. People are like talking about the decade and all that, but to be honest, it's just so like that. We couldn't fit that in one episode. We couldn't fit a whole decade.
Heck no. But we will. We will have a
eventually.
Coming up will be the decade recap of our friendship.
Oh yeah. Because we met in 2010.
Wow. Right.
Wow.
My brother. But hey, man,
bro,
look.
We've been. Let's
without further ado, we have some new listeners. We're not gonna be doing this in 2020, man.
Yeah, we just getting straight to it. We right to it.
Keeping that in 2020. Yep. You already know. Things we're leaving behind in 2019 is all that banter not needed.
The
BS, all the bad vibes. We kicking it. Going into 2020 is good vibes, TikTok and bros. Me. Let's go ahead and drop this thing down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everybody? This is Jabril Salaam
and Muhammad Hassan,
and you are listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast.
Assalamu alaikum.
2020. I was about to say vision, but version 2020 version of the Young and Muslim Podcast.
2020
coming to you live.
2020.
Wow. 20. All right. So for Scale. So if you're a new listener for Scale, we started this podcast in 2018, May of 2018, right before Ramadan. If you don't know what Ramadan is, do some research. We started this podcast, and then we had our 1 year anniversary, obviously, May of this year, which is also in Ramadan. But this was our first full calendar year. Our first full calendar year of 2019. And it's amazing the things that we saw coming, like how we started, how we ended this year, and we just have a list of like topics, like you can call them awards. They're called YMPys, YMPy, Young Muslim Podcast, like the SBs, the YMPys. So we got YMPy awards going out for some of our favorite moments, some of our favorite topics, some of our favorite people, just like the top events that have happened this year. And we're just going to go through all of them. And then at the end of this episode, we asked you guys to ask us questions on our Instagram. If you don't follow us, you should definitely do that at Young and Muslim, YUNG, the letter N Muslim. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, mainly on Instagram. So we talked about that. We asked questions, and you guys loaded us down. So we're going to go through all the questions, answer all the questions, give you the best answers possible.
Hey, look, there's no way we're gonna go into 2020 without our Young and Muslim fam. So we knew we had to keep y'all involved, and y'all had some bomb questions. So I'm excited for that part. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and Jabril.
YMPys. It's YMPy time.
It's YMPy time.
Yippee.
All right, who do we have on the docket today?
All right, so we're going to talk about 20. We're just going to go a
Get the
brief.
paper.
And first YMPy. So first we're going to talk a little bit about like this year in a nutshell. Like, if we had to just kind of sum it up.
Oh, are we doing personal? Is this all podcast related? Just so people know.
Good question.
Yeah. Mixed, because I don't think there was a differentiation between the two this year.
You're right. Bro, we'll just start there, bro. Like you haven't been my friend or my business partner. You've been a friend, business partner, a host, my Uber,
all in the same hour,
all smashed up together. I've seen. What's crazy is like after we graduate, there was a point where we didn't see each other a lot, right?
We didn't see anybody.
Yeah, we didn't. But we specifically didn't see each other because we were living in two different places, and there was no reason for us to.
And we didn't see, just the Northern Virginia crew didn't see you at one point.
Yeah, nobody was seeing me, bro.
We're like, when are we gonna see you, bro?
Bro, I was a ghost for like 2-3 years. No one saw me at all.
It was a legend.
The legend that is Jabril. But what ended up happening was that we started doing the podcast. Mm-hmm. We had but we ended up seeing each other. So what was crazy about this year is that we seen each other more. Because one, we live closer, and we're working on the podcast, so we've seen each other way more this year, and we've had to like push that boundaries of friendship to the like, bro. We essentially lived together this year.
Yeah, no,
like that couch, is indented with your butt cheeks. Like,
has my name all over that couch.
People sit on the couch and like, I don't think I should be sitting here.
How long has this couch? Well, not really long. Well, I don't feel like
my
it.
Man Moden
worn that joint up.
A decade worth of sits on that joint. All right, he sat on the couch more than me. So like it's been like that, and then we work. So this year has very very much been like a cluster of just like. What the like? Yeah. There's a lot going on,
but also our spirituality has fluctuated. I mean, there were times where, outside the podcast, whether it was going well or not, we were on it. We were praying, we were checking up on each other. Then there was a point where we both hit a low, and that's okay. Like, you're gonna hit lows, but you got to get back up. And one thing that I think you and I did a great job this year, other than the previous year, is that we were able to console each other and kind of help each other bounce back and bring in, faith and spirituality to help us bounce back. Yeah. Like, I mean, this is one of the most overrated things that I hear, or just overused. But man, it gets me every single time, saying that God wouldn't bear their soldiers with something that they can't handle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but in the moment, you're like, but I can't handle it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it is crazy.
Handle
in hindsight, you're like, bro, like I took that on like a champ, but really you took it on like a little bit. Like,
you barely, you're like, oh God, please.
Like, no, and we do that a lot. You know what I'm saying? Where we complain in the moment, but then in hindsight, you're like, yo, like that wasn't as bad. Like, bro, and I think, another thing,
that's a beautiful thing.
And another. I think we said we're going to do this at the end, but I think this is a good time to do it. Like the things we learned and like the lessons for the year, we kind of just like throw those out now, and then we can get to the YMPys.
Yeah, right.
YMPys, yo, that's brilliant. I think anxiety for me was a big one. It's crazy because I used to have really bad anxiety, right? And then I kind of like I got over it. And anxiety meaning always thinking of the future and then letting your brain take you to the negative side of what can happen in a situation, right? I'm a very optimistic person, but that part of my brain is very active, so it's very hard for me. I'm like a walking paradox. Like, I'm a super optimistic person, but on the other end, I'm very anxious about, like, what are people going to think about this thing that we created? What I'm saying? Like, bro, don't get it twisted. There's a lot of stuff we put on this podcast that has made me anxious and nervous, and it's almost been therapeutic in a way, because then you like, man, all right, that was dope. Like, people really resonate with that, right? But being like anxiety this last quarter has been crazy. Like, even this morning I woke up with just like anxiety about the day. Like, I couldn't, like, I woke up and I couldn't go back to sleep. It was like 5 something. I just sat there, cold sweats.
And you're not the only one. I'm sure there's a lot of people nodding their heads right now, like, you know what, I can relate to that. For me, it was just how to deal with stress, because we're all stressed, but I need to find better ways. And
you think you do well with stress?
I mean, I think I do a pretty good job handling stress, but I definitely think I can do a better job. I think I did a good job last year and the year before because we had the podcast, so it was a good outlet and it was therapeutic for me as well, just as you mentioned. But before we had the podcast, all I would do is that I would have these conversations with us or just complaining to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It's good to have that outlet that's positive and constructive because we all go through stress, but the issue is that the way we deal with it can be toxic in a way too, and that's how kind of arguments happen. Like you're stressed out, then you get mad at your spouse or your parents. Sometimes they don't even. Do you
think you deal with stress in a very in a
healthy
good
way?
Yeah, in a healthy way, a good way.
At times, I definitely think I can do a better job, specifically in the gym, like physically. One thing I noticed, I don't know why this even crossed my mind, but doing the podcast and I was going through a bunch of stuff, and all of a sudden I sat down, I was like, dude, I'm an athlete. I'm just like a natural born athlete. Like, why am I not like still pushing myself in those bounds, and you know what I mean, in that arena? Like, why am I not in the gym? Why am I not going for runs, which I've always been about, Yeah. But that's one thing I want to give back, because working out, bro, or just getting your body in motion, that helped me release so much stress.
It's like the commercial said, a body in motion stays
exactly. Hey, bro, what? And when you're working out, like when I hit the soccer field, that is one of the few places outside of getting on the mic, is that it clears my mind from everything.
Yeah,
there is no anxiety. There is no depression.
Bro.
I know, because when I'm in the field, I'm going back to your point, bro. I am truly in the moment.
Yeah,
I'm not
you're not thinking about nothing else.
I want to live more like that. You know what I mean? I want to live moment to moment and take the best. Like I want to take the best. Like, for example, say like a day is 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
Say something good happens, something bad happens, something crazy happens, something great happens. You know what I'm saying?
It's part of the game.
It's all part of the game.
It's all part of the game.
What I want to do, what I want to take with me the next day, I just want to take those good things. You know what I mean? Keep it on my mind.
No. I feel you.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you like my man Pablo told me.
What was that?
Football is a game of mistakes. There's no game of football that is without mistakes. The way you win a football match is taking advantage of the mistakes and the opportunities of life. Yeah.
Give me some of that.
Yo, that's my man Pablo. Shout out. Right? And I think you can't just take the good. You have to take everything, and you have to try and take the opportunities that come out of all of that match of the day.
Because that's what we want to do. We want to collect the gold and just like push everything.
Yeah, and what happens is you get anxiety about the bad, but in reality, you need the bad.
Yeah,
because
you do.
Much like the force, there's the dark side and the light side, and they have to balance each other out. Yeah, I'm a Star Wars fan.
Hey.
So we watched Star Wars. We saw Star Wars. What'd you think about it?
Praise be to God.
Praise be to God.
Inside joke. Go to the E-Man Pasha.
Yeah, go watch episode 62.
You'll know exactly what we're talking about.
63.
Star Wars. It was a good movie. I definitely watched more movies this year than I did in a long time. So that was
really, you watched like all 5, 6.
Look, one of the movies that kind of did hurt me. I'll go into it later on the podcast.
What was that? Oh no, we're just doing that. What was that?
Oh, I mean, we're still talking about L's here, like lessons learned.
Yeah.
The lesson I learned that 21 Bridges was horrible.
No, the lesson.
Not watch that.
The lesson is that the previews are very deceiving.
I know. Hey, yes.
they play back to back.
That's one thing. Like, they're getting really good with this editing, but the storytelling is
it's getting horrible. It's still bad. Yeah. All the cuts in the world can't make it a good movie.
So let's get back on track. Let's put these trains
something
back on
else.
track.
So I had to go and grab my list, right? Like I wrote down like a couple things that I learned this year, and maybe y'all can resonate with these. I learned, and I said this morning, and this joint hit. You like, ooh,
yes.
Somebody wants to be where you are, while you are obsessed with trying to be where someone else is at. Gratitude, homie. Gratitude. You are so obsessed with trying to be where someone else is on Instagram or in their business or in their life. They're married and they're happy. You're like, I want to be that. I want to have that.
Yep.
Yo, I want that. But meanwhile, someone's looking at you like, bruh, look at what they got. Look at what you got. And they are so, not even envious. They're just like, I want to be where you are. Meanwhile, you're not even grateful for where you are. Take that extra bit of time to be, as you said, in the moment. Be in the moment.
Yep.
And appreciate the fact that you are where you are, because you're not going to be where you are tomorrow. You're going to keep leveling up. So that was a big lesson I took.
I like that.
Boy,
I like that.
But I think this has been the word for me this entire year, which is patience. There's a second one: patience and trust. Trust in what? Allah. Trust in God, because I think a lot of times we're like, I have faith, I have iman, I have it all, I believe. But like something bad happens and you're like, bro, why me? It's like, yo, trust the process.
Bro, remember in Hadith talk too, when we talked about was it the tree when the storm comes? You know what I mean? It kind of moves with the storm, but if the storm's gone, it's still there, right? It's still there, and it's still, branching, and it already weathered the storm. It was patient, right? But we're like, we have faith, but if something happens, we're getting thrown around like, never mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not rooted.
You're not rooted.
But you said something earlier. You said like you have to be rooted in God, because if you don't, there's nothing else for you to hold on to. So people that have a lot of pride, that have a lot of hubris, people that don't really take refuge in God, they may seem like they have the biggest branches and this big tree, but they aren't rooted in anything concrete. You know what I'm saying? The reason why the little sapling will stay up during the storm is because it can only rely on God. It has no experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you think they say kids are closer to Allah? Because kids haven't grown.
Oh, stop it, bro.
And thinking, I'm hit. 2020, I'm getting deep on you.
It.
And my beard came. If y'all don't know, I told y'all when my beard came out, I was switching it up on y'all. Half of y'all don't even know anymore.
Bro.
I have all new friends, by the way.
I'm sorry.
Let me finish the point. So with the sapling, right?
Mm-hmm.
The sapling has more trust in Allah because it has patience. It's rooted only because of Allah. And our goal and what I've learned from Imam W.D. Muhammad is that our goal in life as Muslims, as humans, is to get back to our original innocence, our original essence, which is essentially the essence of the child. To be so rooted into Allah and what His manifest destiny, maktub, right? To be so rooted in what Allah has destined for us that we don't even stress. When a baby don't stress. When you seen a baby stressing about bills?
A baby just clean.
A baby stresses about eating, the necessities, right? But you give a baby the necessities, love, shelter, food, water, you know what I'm saying? A little laughter, a little playful exercise. Like the baby's happy. Think about it. We go from being babies that are happy with just the basis of life to not happy with anything. We want everything right now. Like that's craziness. We had to crawl. I remember that we had to crawl. So patience and trust are big ones.
Wow.
This one, and you've seen this, and we're seeing it currently.
Next point.
Ask God, and He will deliver.
Before you go into that point, right?
Yeah.
I definitely want to add on to what you said.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Right. So Jabril said in regards to somebody wants what you have, right, and you want what somebody else have. And going back, I love what you said. The point that Imam W.D. Muhammad hit on was for us to get to that child status that we had at one point, And as a child, it's all about the state of the heart. Like, God is filled in our heart. You know what I mean? Because that's just, we're so innocent. We're so pure. But when we go through this world, we're so influenced by different things. And sometimes we lose God in our heart. We put other things, whether it's, money, relationships. Look, going into 2020, and Jabril's going to hit on this later. If I opened up a can of worms right now, I'm sorry.
No, you about to.
We are no longer putting women or men at the center of our hearts, bro.
No. Yeah, you open up the can. You open up the can, buddy.
2020, that's one thing.
We're going to get to the YMPys, but this got to come first.
Like that, we have to put God in the middle of our hearts, because whatever else we put, we're going to get disappointed. And we learned that several times.
Look at the camera. Look at the camera.
Played yourself. Now, for the 2020 vibe, we're going to have and what I mean by that doesn't mean you have to be all holy, is that you're doing everything for the good of God. You're not just flexing on social media, or you're not freaking holding on to this fake facade that we all live in it sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
So when you say you don't do things for men or for women, or what do you mean?
All right. So, for example, say I did something for somebody, right? I did something really nice, and then they didn't notice it as much or appreciate it as I would like. that would kind of get me down. And it's like, damn, like they didn't even say thank you. Like they didn't even notice it, bro. It's like, so I did something good. I'm supposed to be happy, and all of a sudden now I get down, I get sad. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? That's no longer. It's like, you know what? I helped this person out, you know, because I saw God and I reached my hand out. I played my part. We're no longer enabling. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna help people get on their feet, and then after that, hey, you got to go out there and get it. And that's what God wants us to do. But once we start enabling, that means we're putting people at the center of our hearts and doing everything we can for them, you know. But sometimes they don't even deserve it, bro.
Yeah, and they aren't even grateful for what you do.
That's the big thing, and that what makes me the most sad. You know what I mean? Because you put in the work, and it's like, yeah, at least be grateful at the most minuscule part of it. Just be grateful about it. But you can't teach somebody that sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I think also you said it, is that I want to really focus on doing my part and then letting God handle the rest. And I think
that's the trust in the law part, bro.
It's the trust in the law, man. Because like again, like I had an incident recently where like I did something and I was like I thought I was like, oh yeah, like, oh, your boy's got the juice. Oh, I went in there. I was like, I went in that joint like Jay-Z. You feel me? Like I went in there like the Don.
Keep it like this.
Came out. Oh, got it. It's in the bag. And then a couple of days go by, I started thinking about it. I was like, oh, why did I do that? Oh, is the result it didn't happen how I wanted. Like the expectation I put on it didn't happen. And so then, you know, what ended up happening was it took a little time, it took a little buffer, but it was still good. But I stressed so much about, you know, the outcome that I really just unnecessarily stressed myself out about something that I had no control over. Once I did my thing, that was it. All I could do was be patient and wait. So yeah, like for me, patient and trust are the two biggest ones. But ask God and he will deliver. Yo, everything that I have prayed for, whether it was last year, this year, or even a couple years ago, has come true. Everything.
But not when you wanted. But it's
not when I wanted. Just when it was right. Just when it was right. Bro. Let me ask. This is a question for you guys to really think on. Matter of fact, after I ask this question, pause the podcast because you're gonna think. If you got exactly what you asked for right now, would you be able to handle it? If you got exactly what you asked the law for at this very moment, would you be able to handle it?
Not only that, also think about something that you asked for right now, and did the law give it to you? And if you did, how did you handle it? Or how's it going right now? You know, say you.
You're saying like, so you're saying one is a hypothetical and one is if it actually happened to you, like how you okay?
Or you. Like right now. So for example, say you've been praying for a car or something like that, or this person, did you get it? Okay, you got it. How are you? Are you more grateful now? You know what I'm saying?
Or like while you're in the moment,
exactly. Got you. Or did that thing that you pray for, did that make your life even harder? You know, have you ever seen that before? Like you ask for something, you're like, oh, like you said, I should have. I don't think I was ready for that.
Right, so interesting, right? Like I'm getting ready to go to Hajj, inshallah, next Hajj season, right? Make dua for your boy. Yeah, please make dua for me, right? We're 23 minutes in and haven't got to the yippies, but you guys are patient enough. We'll keep.
It's gonna be a great show.
Yeah, it's still gonna be great. We're still with it. And the Imam Munir, I was on a conference call. We got to do a conference call to lead up to, like every month we had to do basically a 2-hour course to get knowledge on Hajj, like know what the itinerary is. Like basically when we get there, we're going to be a well-oiled machine. Inshallah. Right. And he said, when you send that deposit in for Hajj, when you set the intent, not just in your heart, but in your action, and you send that deposit in, your Hajj already begins. Your Hajj begins when you make that intention, and you will noticeably see your life get tougher, right? So I prayed to go to Hajj. Me and my family, 2018, we originally planned, and we were like, oh man, we want to go. 2019 came, we're not ready. And then I remember specifically, I was walking like near downtown, and I was like, oh Allah, like, you know, we're trying to go to Hajj, talking to my mom on the phone about trying to go to Hajj, and the opportunity opened up. Boom, we're going to Hajj. I made the deposit. Everything's gotten tougher. As Mo said, when you finally get what you want, Are you willing to sacrifice and do what is necessary to make that dream come true? Because I'm telling you this, I already know, I'm doing the math, just money wise and just and time wise, what I'm going to have to sacrifice in order to go to Hajj. And I don't think a lot of people in my position would want to sacrifice what they got to do. And I mean, I don't know all you guys, but are you, as a whole, the point I'm getting at is, when you do see the doorway to getting the thing you want, are you willing to sacrifice and be patient and grind like you're supposed to get to that point? Are you willing to do that? Let's keep it moving though.
Yeah,
let's keep it moving.
I like it.
To go back what you talking about with stress, I'm not as good at managing stress as I thought I was. I'm horrible at it. I'm actually very bad. So
At least you're honest.
yeah, no, my mom told me that straight up. Like when I told you when I was leaving for London, bro, I was stressing, bro. Oh my God. My mom just looked at me. She said, "You were the worst person ever to do it." Because I don't like to be late. I like to have my stuff in order,
Punctual,
and I like to have control. And it's very difficult. So everything stems back to patience and trust. Patience. Look, if y'all want to know how I'm about to make a T-shirt. 2019, patience and trust.
Right.
That's what it was for me. You got anything else you want to add to like this year and in a nutshell, what you learned and stuff like that?
I had something on top of my mind, but I literally forgot it right now.
It'll come to you.
It'll come to me right now.
All right, so we're getting to the YMPys.
Yeah. At least a drum roll. I'm in the ghetto.
Hold on, did I do the meh?
Nah.
All right,
You did do it.
did I?
Yeah, I don't know actually.
No, I did it.
You did.
30 minutes. Nope, I did it before, but I did it. 26 minutes later, we finally begin the show. YMPys time, everybody. It is the YMPys. As we said before, oh man, we should have got tuxes.
Oh,
Damn. For the YMPys, first off, we have different categories, and the first category we're going to get into is, who was your favorite guest of 2019?
we want you guys also to be involved. So if you listen to this, let us know who your favorite guest was.
You can shoot us a message like, who is your favorite guest that we had on the podcast? Not or it could be live, because we also got that category. But for the guests that were actually on the podcast, whose was your favorite guest?
This show.
Okay.
You want to start that?
Yes, I think my favorite guest was Imam Shadi Muhammad out there in Delaware. That episode was timeless. Sure. This man opened up so many boxes, bro. He opened up wounds. This man put us in our place, and he talked about some taboo stuff too. Wow. Yes. All the taboo stuff that people don't want to talk about. He talked about porn. He talked about LGBTQ,
toxic relationships.
Talked about toxic relationships. He talked about marriage in a real way. He talked about sliding through DMs.
Bro, look, when we have these guests on our show, don't think we just get them on here for airtime and then they're off. We take what they say into consideration and implement it into our lives right away.
We do that. We're doing this whole thing selfishly, right? Like we get guests because we want to actually talk to them. It's not about you guys at all. Don't think we're doing this for you. All right. No, I'm joking. We love you guys.
He joke. He kid. All right.
All right. What about you, Mo? Who was your favorite guest on the pod?
My favorite guest. There was a lot of good ones, but for some reason I did like, not for some reason, but one of my favorite, Brother Pasha, Imam Pasha.
Yeah. Oh, praise be to God.
The reason why the reason why I like him is that he was our most senior guest.
Yeah, he's a pioneer, bro.
He's a pioneer.
He didn't, bro. He's been through it.
That's why.
My man has seen it.
And like, I would like to talk to somebody that's already done it and doing it. I mean, he's a master plumber. Like, for me, that got me was like, he's an imam, right? Like, he's an imam, he's a leader of a mosque, but he's also a hustler. You know, when he told me he was a master plumber, like, it shows you can do both and be great at both. Jabril and I were talking yesterday, talking about all the great women out there that are pushing the culture, that are helping the religion of Islam, you know, spread like wildfire. There aren't young men doing the same. There aren't. So when I see Imam Pasha, I'm like, dude, we all don't have to be imams. We can all have a spiritual side. We can learn the Quran. We can learn the Sunnah and be the best Muslims. But we can still do other great things. You know, we can be artists. We can be mechanics. We can be engineers. We can be teachers. But like, we need to showcase that more, because there's only one-sided guys, and that's, hey, it's a scholar.
So it's something interesting that I was talking to a friend and she was saying that we're so obsessed in today's society with I need to go to school to learn the religion and this and in reality
it needs to be taught at home.
It needs to be taught at home because it needs to be embedded in you. But then two, to get that further knowledge, why are we adopting this culture of I need to go to school and pay for knowledge?
You say, well, why are we?
Yeah, why do we adopt that? Because that's not how we done things culturally. You find an imam, a sheikh, someone like that, and you study under them. You're an apprentice. You know what I'm saying? You're not paying, you work. That's your job. Think about how monks do it. They go to a temple, they dedicate their lives to learning, and then that's it, right? But there are other ways as well where people go and they get religious studies, but they're also contributing members of society. So like the show Ertugrul, right? The doctor can get up there and give the khutbah. The fisherman can get up there and give you religion. Like, you can learn from everybody. It's not like, there's specific people that you have to listen to get your knowledge. It's like everybody in your community, their lives are embedded within the religion and within the Sunnah, within the Quran. And so everybody, and this is how it's been for me.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like in my ethnic background, like my community, that's how we are. Like you go to the grocery store, what was the brother Claude, he used to have the halal meat shop. Man, you go in there and he gonna give you some Quran to take with you for the day. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't an imam, he wasn't a sheikh, but guess what? My man he studied, he knew. You know what I'm saying? It has to be, the culture has to be so embedded into our daily lives that you can't, like, hearing someone say something that's Quran, that has Quranic value, anything that has Islamic value, it shouldn't be like foreign. It shouldn't have to go to a place to hear about life and the Sunnah and our religious life. You know what I'm saying? We separate our lives. And so when you get guys on their professional lives, it's almost like it's separate. It's like, I do this and then I'm a scholar, or I'm just a scholar, or I'm nothing else. You know what I'm saying?
No, I can't. I really don't know how they do in other countries because I've lived in America almost my whole life. Here, it's like you go to a classroom, it's one teacher talking, and that's it. You see what I'm saying? So you got to see how the infrastructure is set up. Now they're trying to have schools be more collaborative, but if we're so used to sitting down and getting our knowledge from one person, what's gonna make the difference in our spiritual life? You know what I'm saying? So, for example, we go to the mosque, right? Yeah. We all sit down just like in school. We listen to the imam and shake his head, and we're out. That's why I love my imam in down Manassas. He was like, dude, you guys aren't robots. Stop shaking your heads like freaking morons. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just like, you guys are my man snapped during the football. He's like, you guys are just dead. He said we're supposed to, and the reason why we like that is because we like community life. That's the real problem, because we're just sitting there, we're getting our knowledge from one person. Then after he gives it to us, what happens? We go on with our day. We go back and we never talk about it again. But the problem that we're supposed to take that knowledge, teach it at home. But if we were to come together as a community, we do have our spiritual leader, like he's the guy, but you can learn from everybody. But the problem is that we're not connected and we don't know who's who. So, for example, I love what you're saying down in Norfolk, because when I went down there, I saw that. But I knew all those brothers. I knew they weren't all imams. There's no way you can have, they can all be imams. But you can learn something from everybody. But we need to, but that comes with culture too. We as youth, we have to change that. But I think we kind of are. That's why we have like halakas and different things, like gatherings, like chit chat.
Bro, it's not even. That's what I'm saying. It's like that's a specific thing that is for that.
I know.
I'm talking about we chill with the homies, and then we just we're talking and we get kind of like conversations that we get into. It's the podcast. Like these conversations aren't exclusive to the podcast. We have these conversations amongst ourselves.
That's the culture.
When we meet with new young Muslims, bro. When we had the meetup in Baltimore, it was this.
Yeah, right.
It was chill. Yeah, you guys should definitely come to the next meetup.
In a different setting, just at a cafe.
Yeah, but it's about starting a culture where we can talk about these things openly, and that's why we do I'm not even going to get into that. The next yippee for the day.
Hey, look, that was very elaborate, but it was on point.
Yeah, the next yippee for the day is what was the biggest event / news of 2019?
Biggest event?
Yeah, or news for 2019.
Okay, I know. Yeah.
that shocked the Muslim community. Oh, we were left in shambles. Wait, Mo, this was you, bro. This was you.
When this happened, it brought me down to my knees.
Babies were crying. Mothers lost it all.
I didn't know what to do. At that point, I was... Oh, my God. What is it? At that point, I was looking for John. I was like, where's Ja Rule? We need Ja Rule to time.
Somebody need, where's John? What is John think?
But when Dean Squad broke up, that... let's take a moment of silence. Now we're here amongst the Dean stars. No, really,
bro, when you said that last night, I was done, bro. You said Dean Squad broke up. That shook the Muslim Ummah. Oh my God!
Which I mean, it sounds funny, but if that was to shake us up, that's kind of sad,
bro. Yeah, it's really sad, bro. I mean, bro, for real, that was the funniest beef. Bro, we need to do better in hip hop for Muslims. If that was the only beef that we had in the Muslim hip hop community, bro, y'all are whack.
You'll have to say that for your own time, bro, because I know you.
No. We're doing this now. We're going to have a yippee speech. Look. Muslim hip hop, do better going into 2020. This Barney collaborative BS that y'all on is over.
It's getting better. It's improving.
Is it? It's getting. I mean, come on, bro.
Hey, competition. Say boost creativity. There isn't much competition. They say that's why people are mad about the rap game now or hip hop, because everybody's collaborating. Nobody's trying to do it on their own, and nobody's coming after people no more. It's like, hey, let's all make money together, which is good, but people just hopping on tracks now.
It takes the edge off. There's no edge. So, no, what I thought was hilarious about this beef, though, was like how they were, bro, they're schemers. They were both using social media to be like, you want to hear my side of the story? Yeah, tune into my YouTube channel tomorrow at 6 p.m. Like, both of them. It was hilarious.
You just don't do that as friends. And if
that's a code, bro. You don't do that sort of stuff.
Look, if there was a quarrel between you or anybody, and this
did you just say quarrel?
It's a quarrel.
It's a quarrel. No, you're right.
Yeah,
but I'm saying, like, my man went back to 7th grade English.
Come on,
all right, Fabo. My man said,
look, some of the words that I throw at work.
No, and that won't work. But it did blindside me real quick. I was like, quarrel.
Oh man,
man, Shakespeare over here.
Look, after that happened, and a prophet, peace and praise be upon him, was like, that type of affair, bro, you keep it in secrecy. So if something was to happen, God forbid, get to the podcast and everything, at the end of the day, Jabril and I are friends, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if whatever happens, we're still gonna be friends. I wouldn't, you know what I mean, break it off.
We wouldn't air that part of it, but we would talk publicly about like the podcast portion,
specifics and everything.
Yeah, but like
I'm not gonna drag my man. You know what I mean?
My man was crying, dog. Like, yo, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe that's like my lack of sympathy and empathy. But like, bro, if the podcast breaks up, y'all not gonna hear from me for a minute, and y'all definitely gonna see no tears. Like, what? Hold on, what are we even talking about like that? The podcast is going nowhere.
Inshallah.
By the way, the only thing that's gonna take me away from the podcast is death or my future wife.
No, hopefully the wife won't do that.
Yeah, no, I'm just messing. No. Shorty couldn't do that
until death do us part.
Until death do us part. That's what the podcast.
We got our own vows.
Yeah, we saw our vows on the podcast. So death do us part, cuz.
All right.
That was really all we had for that. All right. So what was your yippee viral moment of 2019?
I'm on the same page with you.
Same
on
page
that
as
one.
mine.
Absolutely.
I think the most viral moment within the young Muslim community was the picture by our good friend Shay Ma.
I was there. I was there.
Yeah, you were there. I wasn't there. I saw it online. Shay Ma posted a picture of her. If you guys haven't seen it, you can follow her, Shay, SHAYMAAA, Shay Ma, something like that. Iconic photo of her in front of a bunch of like
bigots.
Bigots and we assume are racist or whatever, in front of the ICNA conference here in Washington D.C. and she was like this
with a big bright smile,
big smile, while they had signs like forget Muslims and stuff like that. Right,
that's true Islam.
That
is how you fight.
Photo that was the most viral thing that I've seen within the young Muslim community, and that was dope.
Bro, she got reposted by Dembele, the Barcelona's. I mean, so everybody was on that.
Everybody
Tony
saw
Rudiger. I mean, like
that thing went global.
What you needed.
Yeah, what needed. Yeah, but talking to her, she's just like a regular person. So it was cool to see, like, wow.
But at the time, she and that's those moments. You know what I mean? I'm not saying she took advantage, but she was just living, and that's what she saw what those people were doing. She could have went up there, she could have argued with them, she could have debated, but she was like, you know what? Hey, this is real.
She said 2019
right
vibes. 2019 vibes. She wasn't talking.
All right,
she was just acting,
smiling and being me. So
right.
Big shout out, man. Much love.
Yeah,
much love.
Yeah, Shema, you get the viral moment of 2019 for the Yippies.
We'll make sure to send you your award via mail.
Yeah. Sure we will. All right, Mo. What was your favorite podcast? And again, guys, remember, we want you guys to also go through this. We're going to create a list and we'll put it on our story of the things that we talked about. That way, you guys can go and reply to it.
Yeah, and it'll be in the show notes. I'll make sure.
It'll be in the show notes. We'll put what was your favorite pod moment of 2019?
Oh my God!
And you can't take mine.
No, I'm not. It's not one moment. I would definitely have to say traveling to guests and with our finesse and just the patience. Like, it's like we legitimately would sometimes show up to a guest's spot and plan A won't work. So for us to think on our feet, that was for example, like what do you mean by that? Well, for example, we were supposed to record in this room, but we get in the room and it has no lighting, has no windows. It's horrible lighting. Then we got to move from here, bro. Like, that was the best moment because it was almost kind of like a rush and thrill. Like, oh my God, are we gonna is this gonna happen? You know what I'm saying?
I want to extend on that because we did that in 2018. Remember, we recorded in cars and stuff like that.
That was just us too.
But yeah, exactly. That was just us. Yeah. So with guests, it's like.
It's still making it feel comfortable and act like we have everything under control. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. Okay.
Well, they don't know it's under this shirt. It's nasty. It's nasty under this shirt. Sweat.
So keeping our composure while doing all that reckless stuff, I would definitely say was my favorite moment.
And the stature of these guests too. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to respect their time. It's totally different. Messing with guests is totally. We dipped our toe in it, and I think. This coming year, it's not even we think this year we're going to go a lot harder when it comes to getting guests. A lot of you guys have been sending in many requests, and we do read them, we respect them. We're going to do better. So believe we, 2020,
and don't get it twisted. All that stuff that we were doing and gave us a lot more time to build with our guests and build rapport. I mean, almost everybody that we've had an interview with, we could legit call them up.
Oh yeah, they're family now. Once you Salaam it, then we family.
Except for Imam Pasha. I don't know about that.
No. Imam Pasha.
At first, we needed to remember. It took us a while. Like we had to earn our stripes before we even sit down with that,
for you guys who don't know who Imam Pasha is, I'll put it like this: Imam Pasha is the most underrated imam in the United States of America. He has done so much for this Muslim Ummah. Just in our nation that a lot of people don't even know who he is. He is the head of the third most visited mosque in the world. Malcolm Shabazz.
Look, not only that, people, if you have a podcast or anything along those lines and you're creating content, you want to have guests or people come on your show, it's not as easy like, hey, Muhammad, hey, Jabril, can you hit up Imam Pasha for me? Can you, those are tight. Like, it doesn't work like that.
Bro, we had to go through security and stuff to get this man.
Even if we were to hook it with that person, you have to earn those stripes, and I think that was the funnest and the hardest thing to do. Like for Tone, we didn't just sit down; we had to do a lot of things to sit down with Tone.
We know what I'm saying.
And then we earned it. You got to earn it. There's no entitlement whether you're Muslim in the community or not. You had to bring something to the table. You can't just show up and just expect it. And you know what I mean? So
and I mean we're kind of going in depth with each point, but I think what that shows is that we show up with quality. Because we say it all the time, we don't endorse other people. Like when we share people's work or their stuff, it's because we bang with it. You know what I'm saying? Like we tell people, if we think you're whack, we're going to tell you you're whack. We don't like, we're Muslim. We ain't Barney.
Or we just don't support this cause. You know what I mean?
We don't support it. Like if we don't support something, we only support the stuff that we believe in. Period. That's like how we do things in general. So whenever we check this person out, it's because we listen to them, we like them, and we want them to do well. But like we think you're a cornball, we're gonna call it out, right? So what I was going with that is so what that showed is that, like, bro, people that bang with us, that hop on the podcast, actually bang with the podcast. They bang
And
with
who
what
we
we're
are.
doing. And, yeah, they bang with who we are and what we're doing. My favorite podcast moment.
Let me add one more.
Yeah.
You can have a great show and a great platform, but if you are not a good person and have good characteristics, it's gonna show. That's all I'm gonna say at the end of the day.
Real.
That's gonna
Recognize real.
That's gonna show. Exactly. So
My favorite podcast moment was with our good friend Nadira Pierre. Nadira P, love you. Hope you're doing well. Salam.
Salam.
Favorite moment was with her when we were talking about, wives and stuff like that. And I said, Papa Baby in that joint, she's going to cool right now. If you guys don't know what that's about, go on our Instagram page and scroll down.
If you want some context.
Yeah, if you want some context, Papa Baby in that joint. That was probably my favorite podcast moment of this year. It was my favorite because when I went home, I remember I was driving back home and my dad called me dying. He was like, Papa Baby in that joint. He was like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. And my aunt was like, the women in my family were mad, but my dad
it was an uproar.
Yeah, my dad was rolling. And I was like, that's when I knew I did something right, when my dad was in tears. I was like, yeah, that moment is going to live forever. Papa Baby in that joint.
At that point, he was a proud father. He's like,
yeah, right. He was like, my boy got the juice. All right, so Papa Baby.
Grandson soon. All
right, favorite non-podcast moment of this year.
What do you mean by that? Just something
My favorite non-podcast moment was going to the UK. Like that was a goal that I set, and I was like, oh, it's gonna happen. Or it was like I just set it out there, and I was like, yo, God, like, let me see what's happening. What's up? And then it happened. Like it. Wow. I wasn't expecting it at all. Like it was just like I had to do it. I had to go.
Look, my favorite non-pod moment, it was still pod related. We went to an event in Maryland. It was during Ramadan. It was a Sudanese event. It was at the Sudanese Diaspora Network, and it was nice because when we came in, we legit were like, "Hey, we're coming as Muhammad Jabril." We were just chilling, but people kind of knew us about the podcast.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then, that was nice. And then we ate, and then a full-blown Sudanese uncle or Ambu came to Jabril and was talking to him in a different language. Jabril looked at him and was like, was shaking his head. But my favorite part was towards the end. This one Egyptian brother came up. He had listened to us. And then he's like, hey, can I take a picture with you guys? I was like, oh. He said, yeah, my sister loves y'all. I want to take a picture with y'all. And let you know that, I saw you. I was like, oh, my. I was like, yo, that was, so beautiful.
If I wish I could have gotten a picture of your expression, like, bro, you were
I don't smile.
You were all 42 of your teeth were showing, and this man looked like he saw The Rock. He was just like, for me, for real. Oh, like, bro, like
that was my favorite moment.
that was a crazy moment. Like that was one of the first moments where people were like, yo, like
that was the first for me.
Yeah, it was like that was crazy. That was crazy. Wow, that is a good non-podcast moment. That's good. All right, so as you guys know, every Tuesday we do Instagram Live. Are we doing one today?
No.
Okay. We'll do it. We'll do it for New Year's. Today. Yeah, we'll do it. Wow, dang.
We can go live at your joint.
Yeah.
Is that today?
But we're not dropping this till Wednesday, so it's kind of irrelevant. Well, that sucks. Sorry, guys.
Recap.
We go live every Tuesday, usually at 6 p.m. with special guests, people that we can't ordinarily connect with in person. So what we did this year, we went super heavy. We got so many different guests. We got people in different countries, multiple different countries. And we had great guests. And I want to give a yippee to our favorite guests, yours and then mine. And who is your favorite IG Live yippee guest?
So for those that do not know, we talked about Instagram Live and what we do on the purpose of our Instagram Lives, because some people still don't know. We always have to explain to the guests.
So I did a horrible job.
Yeah, so the purpose of our Instagram Lives is we are collaborating and linking up with individuals that are doing great work. And it's not only Muslims, but it's people that are doing something positive, something impactful, and something that can not only change the course of our lives, but change, the world. So
and we want to give you guys exposure to them, because you ordinarily wouldn't.
And it's been small platforms, medium platforms. We've even had large platforms.
We've had huge ones.
And
thank Allah.
my favorite was definitely Aaliyah Sharif. That was
that was a good out the bay.
She crushed it because a lot of individuals. Well, in the beginning, we had a lot of Instagram lives with Muslimas. That's funny. We have a lot of guy guests, but a lot of women Instagram lives. You know, if you notice that.
And I think people would be like, "Oh, because you know
that must mean something."
Nah, what it means is that we have great relations with a lot of Muslim women, and we're friends with a lot of them. However, it's very difficult for us to get up with them in person because a lot of them don't actually live near us.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So like Aaliyah, she lives in Cali. She lives in the Bay Area. So it's like, you know, she's like, hey, I might be coming to the East Coast in 5 months, and we're like, that's cool, but we would love to be able to talk to you now.
Exactly. So,
and she will be on the podcast, inshallah, one day, next when she gets around this way.
The reason why I liked it was that, man, she had usually, you know, sometimes you get on it and it, you know, it's all quiet or, you know, holy. She brought all that, plus a good energy and a great sense of style and fashion. Man. Like she had that newer, bro. She had that glow, bro. That's why I love her show.
That confidence, you know what I'm saying? She put us on with like some A1 marriage advice. Remember that? I
didn't think you were gonna bring that up. That's the main reason why.
She hit some marriage advice that was like,
I was like, slow down, Aaliyah. He's like, slow down.
Right? Yeah, bro. She was an outstanding guest. She was an outstanding guest. My yippee is going towards Dr. Craig Considine, my man Craig. Hope you're doing well out there, bro.
Hey.
Craig is not Muslim. Craig is a Christian, or he's Catholic, I believe.
Professor at Regent University, I believe.
Yeah, he's a professor, and if you know his platform is very big. His platform is he talks a lot about Islam from a Christian perspective, and how how Christians and Muslims need to become more unified as people of the books.
He talks more about the similarities.
Yeah, he talks about the similarities and really just trying to educate his constituents about Islam. And showing that there are Christians who are very compassionate to Muslims. Right? I like
that. Yeah.
Remember, you know, in the times of the Prophet, there were they took refuge with Christians when before he was even a prophet. He needed to find out. Khadijah took him to her cousin, who was Abyssinia, right, in Ethiopia. So, and Ethiopia has one of the largest concentrations of Christians in Africa.
Yep.
Right. This dude was a monk. He wasn't Muslim. So really talking about interfaith. That the reason why this one was so impactful and big was because we talked so like it. He said it best. He was a kindred spirit, and I had to look it up. Kindred spirit means someone that you feel like you've connected with before you actually on this planet.
Oh, yes, and I felt like that before.
Yeah, talking with him, man, it really felt like I was talking with a long lost friend. And religion, it was like we all had the same like gripes with religion and the people of religion, and you really just broke that barrier of you're Christian, I'm Muslim. It was right. Nah, we're all just like we're brothers and sisters. And it was amazing, man. Like I can't wait to get him on the podcast in person and just go at it.
Look, man, one thing that I learned, there was a lot of things that I learned from Dr. Craig, but one thing that he said, and I want to reiterate, is that going into this new year, inshallah, being in this new year, let's stop trying to convert people. Let's stop, please, because the only person that can, like, it's God that does that. You know what I mean? That's God's job. But our job is to make those people feel comfortable and learn. Look, if you believe in God, for me, that's good. You know what I'm saying? Because you have hope and you can find a way. But if you don't believe in anything or in science, that's when, like, that's a lot harder to come back around. So, for example, Dr. Craig said his biggest gripe against Muslims is that people are always trying to convert him, telling, like, why aren't you being Muslim? Instead of just having,
you believe in the Prophet, so why don't you take Shahada?
Yeah, just having a regular conversation with them. Like, I get it. I know we want everybody to become Muslim. I get it. But that comes from your actions. You know what I mean? Like when people say, people say, don't do what I say, do as I do. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how he was. You know, he's like, hey, be a good example. I'll be a good example. We can all be good examples.
So I said this after we did the live with him, but I was like, yo, it's kind of ironic, right? That people are like, oh, take your Shahada. But he declared with hundreds of people, thousands of people watching, I believe in God.
He just said it.
And I believe that Muhammad is a prophet.
He
and I'm like,
too.
I was like, hold on, is that not Shahada? Right? Is that not Shahada?
Pull out the books.
No. So it was interesting because even in the Quran, it's Surah 5 ayat 69, where Allah talks about Allah says, and I'm paraphrasing, so it's on my phone, but man, let me just get it.
Yeah, pull it up. We ain't paraphrasing in 2020, cuz
we're not doing a lot of stuff in 2020, bro. We're not doing a lot in 2020.
1 week later, remember that one joint?
Where's it at? Here we go. Boom. It says, those who believe in the Quran and those who follow the Jewish scriptures and the Sabians and the Christians, any who believe in God and the last day and works of righteousness, on them shall be no fear, nor shall they grieve. That doesn't even say anything about the prophet. So,
but if you believe in those things,
exactly, you're good.
Believe in the prophet.
And that is Surah 5. Surah 5, ayat 69. My memory's on point.
The reason why I love that is that I had a friend of mine that came to my house, Vincent. Big shout out, my boy Vinny. You know, he had tea with me, and we all sat down. We were talking, and then one of my uncles was like, "Hey, Muhammad, is he Muslim?" You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, "No." You know what I'm saying? I was like, "But he has looked at it. He doesn't believe in God." And he's like, "Okay, when is he gonna become Muslim?" Like that shouldn't be the first question. You know what I'm saying? Like,
is he a good person?
Exactly. Like, okay, you know, where's his family from? Is he a good person? How was he raised? Good to know him, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just like a checkbox. Like, all right, cool.
Here's the thing: people say all that, and then as soon as you become Muslim, it's funny. As soon as you become Muslim, they stop. They don't even care about you no more.
It's this
entitlement that
that's the harsh reality.
You got to be Muslim, and then you're Muslim, and then they treat you like crap.
Good job. I'll see you during Ramadan. I'll see you during Eid.
Yeah. What?
Wait, hold on. Where's the support I needed? You know what I mean?
Exactly. They don't even support you.
Sheesh.
All right.
Cut that out.
So now we get to the final category of our yippies. Yimpies. And it is our favorite creator of 2019.
I like that.
This was for me, it was easy. Like there's one sister, bro.
For me, it was easy too.
Her work is all inspiration. Her Instagram is on point. Her message is dope. Her YouTube is on fire.
Because they're actually creating stuff. They're not just posing.
Yeah, bro. Fly with Haifa. Fly with Haifa. I recommend every single one of you guys go and follow Haifa. Amazing. Shout
out Egypt, baby. Must flex.
Amazing creator, beautiful inside and out with her work, her personality, and I started watching her a couple years ago, and I remember watching one of her very first videos she put out in like 2011 or like 2010 or something like that.
I remember when you showed me that video, I was like jaw dropped.
Yeah, and that was this year. Or like late last year.
Oh yeah.
But what I do when I find somebody, I go to like the earliest stuff and then I look at their newest stuff. And the transformation she's had and the production value of her work is just outstanding. And the leverage that she has as a creator. I definitely want to get her on the podcast. And then I also want to no, I don't want to shout out anybody else. No, I'm just gonna keep it with Haifa. I'm gonna keep it with Haifa because Haifa, she stood out amongst everybody. I don't think there was one creator that stood out more.
To be honest, nobody came close.
No,
that was there was a lot of great people that did things, but there's levels to this young boy and shit. I'm on my Meek flow right now, Philly, but
young bull.
But no, I feel like there was only two people up there to be honest. With Fly with Haifa, I think Neelam was right on her tail. To be honest, yeah.
So why you got Neelam up there?
The reason why I got Neelam is that she created a whole team and she put her team on her back. You know what I mean? And she came out not only with great rhymes and everything, but great visuals. And she never pinpointed herself or boxed herself in because she knew. She knew. She's like, look, I'm not gonna box myself in. There's so many things that I can do. And I think she's phenomenal in front of the camera, but I think she also has some influence behind the camera too.
Okay.
I think she has a really good influences to like what she wants to see and the message that she wants to give, you know. And I feel like that comes from more of like the creative side and more like the production and the producing side, you know. Because I think I see a lot of Muslim women out there that are doing great things, but I feel like they're one dimensional, you know. And that's, you know, hopefully it doesn't come off the wrong way. And that's looking pretty, you know what I mean? Yeah, just one picture. Like I get it. Like if you're sitting or taking a picture in front of a old ancient mosque, tell me about the mosque. Tell me about the history. Don't be like it's tea time. You know what I mean? Have you seen that? shy time here in Istanbul. Like, dude, tell me about the history. Like, tell me, like, why are you in Istanbul? Why are you in Istanbul? You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of flexing.
It's a lot of flexing.
So I get what you. She's not just putting stuff up to flex. She actually has something that's going on.
Exactly.
Outside
so
of
that's
flexing.
why I would have to give her 2019 Creator of the Year.
I like
Elon.
that. I like that. Love.
Hey, look, I want to hear it too. If you oppose, get it. Hey, but dang, we got woman on the top.
Hey.
Big shout out.
All right, so now we are going to get to
The Q&As.
questions. Oh man,
Sheesh,
I am very hyped for this. Goodness, we got a lot of questions to go through. Goodness of gracious.
We might have to do a quick fire round with these questions.
All right, yeah. And some of you guys are going to be disappointed with the answer because, all right, so the first question that we got,
How do you know this first one?
because it started like with this post right here.
23 hours. Yo, because that joint goes away in literally 1 hour.
No, these don't go away.
Oh, they don't?
Nah.
Okay, cool.
All right, what episode has been your favorite so far? From Maravita95. Shout out Maravita. You're dope.
Yeah, we talked about our guests, but this is just in general, right? Favorite episode?
Favorite episode? Goodness gracious. That is difficult.
You go ahead, bro.
I gotta go through the list. Man, because so this year this will be our 38th episode of the year.
I mean,
yeah. I really liked episode 64 where we talk about personality types, toxic masculinity, and prophetic traits. I thought that was a really good episode.
that was actually a really good one.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
because we dug into ourselves.
my favorite,
Uh-huh.
episode 46, talking Baraka with the Berka. Well, with Mustafa and Yusuf Chroma. The reason why I love that one is that we talked about so many different ranges, and it started off as young and Muslim. Young and Muslim. So I think that episode was the first to really set off the young Muslim culture because it showed the diversity in what we can bring to the table and just the depth. You know what I'm saying? Like we're more than just this. So that's why I really liked that, and it was fun, and it was that was a spiritually healing.
Episode. I also like the one we did with SQ, bro. And Tone. The one we did with SQ, Tones was different. It was different than I expected it to be, right? I thought we were going to talk more music, but we really just talked about perspective, you know what I'm saying, and having empathy for the Muslim brothers, right? But I thought that that one and the one with SQ was actually very good as well. I thought that was a dope episode. All right, next question. Hey, just stumbled across your profile. Want to say have a good day / week wherever you are. Oh, thank you. We are having a good day. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year, brother.
Inshallah, can you follow back? No. Next question.
Come on, guys. Like, come on.
That's a straight up no.
Follow
Chief Malik 1. No. Akayla Hansar, I think. Is she? Sorry if I'm butchering. Matter of fact, what's her name? What's her name though? What's her name though?
Yeah, I think it's better if you stay on this journey.
Yeah. All right. So she asked a few questions. What impact do you want to make and continue to make going into next year?
I know I shouldn't have picked on you. Ask these type of questions. All right. What impact? What impact am I looking to make, or what impact I'm already making?
Or like, what do you want to continue as far as impact?
So for me, I have one social goal. I told Jabril about it. My social goal for 2020 is to connect with more people. I'm talking about in real life, like connect outside of social media. Like, I want my social life to be more social. You know what I mean? Whether that's, being in person with my family, my friends, or you guys.
I'm done with family. I see y'all enough. I need to see you guys. I need to see more Muslims. Like,
even with him, I'm tired of seeing him, bro. I want to meet. So I want my life.
Y'all don't understand. This is a lonely life we live doing this podcast.
And the one thing I noticed, as people, no matter how introverted you are, extrovert, you just have a lot of creators that way. We just have to be around people.
You got everybody social.
It's just simple. That's the impact I want to make. I like that. To meet more of you guys in person.
Okay. I think having more impact within the young Muslim culture. I feel like we don't have a culture. We don't really have.
You want to kind of push the mail on that? Wait, hold on. Are you trying? How can we push the mail if that joint's not even created? We haven't even created.
That's what I'm saying. So there has to be, like, what we talk about, the topics that we talk about, the way that we feel. There has to be an identity as young Muslims? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are the things that we're like yay or nay for? Like when someone does something that's reckless, are we going to sit there and be like, oh, but we don't judge? No. We got to hold things and hold people to account. You know what I'm saying? There's a culture that we all have, and it's difficult to quantify and to put in one cup because we're all so different. There's so many variations, but I think that as Muslims, there's certain things that are just 100% black and white, and there's other things that are gray, and that is the culture. Hip hop, like that is the culture. I think that's my goal going into the next year.
I love that because I think that we also had Hadith talk about that. The haram and the halal has been like prescribed, like it's black and white. You know what I mean? Like those things we're not supposed to be doing is known. You know, things we are, and then in between is the stuff that we're not talking about in, you know, quote unquote, people say bid'ah. We're not talking about that. We're talking about doing those things in the best way where we currently live, like in the lay of the land. That's basically
exactly.
what it's saying.
It has to fit where you are and how in the time you're in.
Exactly.
All right. So next one. Do you set goals related to your faith and spirituality?
Yes.
Mine is purely to make it to Hajj and
was that yes or no question?
Yeah, I guess it. Yeah.
Yes.
Do we set goals? Yeah, we do.
Specifically spiritual goals and religious goals. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Next. Has 2019 taught or showed you about yourself about podcasting?
Heck yeah.
If I had to sum that up in one go, I would say consistency is key.
One thing that I have to say that 2019 with the podcast and without the podcast, primarily with the podcast, is that, and you posted this last week on your Instagram, which I thought was really good. There will never be a time in your life which where you won't have problems, you know? And that's one thing I learned about 2019. Oh, I'm not ready to start a podcast. Oh, I'm not ready to get married. Oh, I'm not ready to do this. Mm-hmm. There's never going to be a time in your life where you're going to be ready for any of those things.
Good point,
yes, you'll be in a better position because you did that. Yes, there's going to be better times, but never ever in your life you're going to be like, you know what? I got nothing going on. This is good. Barbara Comstock, shout out to the Shark Tank. She said the best thing. They asked her, Barbara, she's a billionaire. You know, she is one of the most brilliant individuals that's ever graced this planet in regards to the financial realm. She said, when is the best time to start a business? She said, today.
Boom.
You know, today.
Boom.
And that's all I'm going to say.
Boom. Just get busy. Get out and get busy.
Just get busy.
Who has motivated you the most this year? Myself.
Oh, man, I'll have to say definitely each other because, I mean, Tone and everybody else has.
My fault.
But
it has been. It's been a joint effort.
He said me, myself, and I. That's all I got. In the end,
I'll be my own best friend.
I'm sitting here like, oh, stop. But yeah, I would have to say because, and the reason why Jabril sat me down one time and I was on the verge of giving up and crying and, you know, pulling up the white flag. He said, this was like a few months ago. He said, look, we have to talk to each other about what's going on because you and I are the only people outside of God that knows what's going on and can relate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I legitimately, on my podcast problems and everything, I can't talk to nobody else about it because
that was
they can be like, yes, brother, keep pushing, or like, I'm so proud of you. You know, but when you're not getting any sleep and things aren't going right and you're like, man, is this even worth it? Like, you know, the person that you're doing it and investing everything in, like, they're the most important in that time because they're the only person in the ship. You know, you're not only people on the ship. Obviously, we're bringing more people on this ship, but you know,
but even they're not like even your spouse can't understand.
You're riding the wave with me, bro. So if you're riding the wave with me, you're the only person that's gonna know how the wave is moving. You know what I'm saying? You feel it. So
damn. You're right. Yeah, the reason why I said me though is because even in that, there's times where like you're going through stuff that like outside the podcast that you can only pull yourself out of that hole. You know.
Look. I do want to hit into that, and we can go on. Going into 2020, do we need more people to help pull us out of those black holes and those swirling and twirling negative? Those negative cyclones that we get into, like, can we pull ourselves out of that?
Yes.
Or do we need that
we can pull
friend
ourselves out.
Or
we can pull ourselves out? people have to remember this.
You see where I'm going, though, right?
Yeah. You don't just automatically one day be like, hey, I have no more anxiety. I have no more stress. Like, you have to practice it. There's a reason why I started this podcast talking about Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I'm reading that book currently because I've been having a hard time with my own stress, anxiety, and being in the moment. I started the podcast with that specifically because I'm going through that right now. I'm not perfect, right? I had to go and buy that book. I had to do my research. I had to read through it and take things out of it to take into the new year, to practice. It's little by little. It's not necessarily in fast spurts that you get to your goal. It's little by little and at a very slow pace. The tortoise and the hare. A lot of us want to hurry up and get to the goal. It doesn't work. Like, this life is hard. Yeah. This life is something that you may is hard, but that you may tarry but for a while. Allah says it over and over again. Like, this life is difficult, bro. This ain't meant to be easy. So, you know, we can't
get ready for that battle.
Yeah, don't be stuck on, like, I need somebody to help me. It's like, at the end of the day, you go in that grave by yourself. So you have to understand you and spend time with you and figure out how you can get out of these cycles that you get in. How do you learn yourself? A lot of us have to become more self-aware. Self-awareness is always going to be the anthem. How would you create entertaining yet beneficial content for kids and preteens? Ooh, good question by Abdullah. What's good, Abdullah? Love you, bro. That's difficult. I think I can give you this piece of advice. You have to watch the people that are doing stuff that is similar to what you want to do.
Yep.
Don't copy them. Watch all of it, aggregate it, put it all together, see what the similarities are, see what the differences are, the pros, the cons, and then take your idea and figure out, does yours fit within that mold? And then what can you take out of it and what can you remove from theirs to make your own content? Yeah. That's the best thing. That's the best piece of advice I'm getting. You got anything to add?
I would say you can't cover everything. So there may be a specific age range that you just don't know about. Either one, you invest a resource that can go and scout it out. For example, I'm looking to TikTok. Jabril put me as a scout to go ahead and do that, so I'm spending my time to do that. Or you just collaborate with people that already do it, you know what I mean? And then you just get them on your show and you talk with them and have them provide that insight because you just can't do it, or just don't have the time to.
I got something to add to this, and this is probably the most important thing. This is why the podcast has been as much of a success as it is. Keep your ear to the pavement.
Yes, yep.
You got it. Like, if you want to know what's going to help kids, you got to talk to kids.
Boots on the
ground. Don't talk to kids and give them advice. You need to listen. Listen and silent have the same letters in it.
Hey, do they?
Yeah,
they do. What?
Yeah, listen and silent have the same letters. So keep your ear to the pavement. What are kids saying? What are preteens talking about? What are they struggling with? Like, let's be honest. We're going to say this now. This year, we are not going to sussyfoot. I want to say another word. We are not going to sussyfoot around hard, difficult topics that you guys be like, oh my God, why are they talking? Like, we did a guest pod. We were guests on a podcast and we talked about the halal dating, and people were like, oh my God, that topic. Oh, like, if y'all were heard about that, you guys aren't going to like some of the stuff we're going to talk about this year because we're going to go deep.
The reason that it's deep. It'll be different if it wasn't happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We're not sussyfooting around none of this stuff no more. You guys, you had to get ready. So keep your ear to the pavement. What are your goals for your spiritual health in 2020? I kind of want to speed through some of these because
look, spiritual health is not stress. I think. Because that stress does hurt. I think a lot of those things we kind of already incorporated and kind of hit.
We're going to go through each question because they took the time to ask us. We're going to go through each one.
So for my spirit, I would say just not stressing, to be honest.
Okay. Spiritual health. I think little by little, trying to stay on my prayers and trying to read little by little. Not just trying to go all out during Ramadan, but like actually read a little bit of Quran every day, and keep it as a constant.
I like that. It'll be nice to kind of go through a good amount of the Quran before Ramadan, because Ramadan comes, all right, dust that joint off the shelf. Like, nah, that's not gonna work. Yeah, that's not gonna
all right,
work.
So advice for dealing with mental health from an Islamic standpoint, I don't have one. I say meditate. You need to meditate.
Yeah, meditate. Take any bad vibes or bad relationships out of your life, because that does hurt.
Yeah.
Or at least if you can't take it out of your life because it's a family member, somebody really close, just keep them at a distance, to be honest.
Listen to the podcast. This is not a question, but can you minimize your episode's duration next year? No. No.
I'm sorry. No.
Just listen in spurts. I mean,
you can watch YouTube and you can actually speed it up so that way you can do like 1.5. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, our episodes aren't that long.
Thank you.
Trust me, our longest episode is what, like almost 3 hours. That was Imam Shadid.
That's nothing.
But like when it's just us two, like an hour and a half. You know, maybe like this one might go a little bit over because we're answering questions. But no, we're not.
That's average commute, man. You can't forget. We're in our cars a lot.
You know, this question is actually pretty funny.
What?
Anonymous, please. Got you. Rumor in my Islamic community that I like a guy, but I don't. What should I do? Yo, hey.
Snap. Spread the word. Let them know. Go to the source because like those rumors will spread.
Yeah. That's true. This
like
is
the
kind of
black
serious,
plague.
right?
And the problem is that because I'm sorry because you're a female, it will come back as you're the person that initiated. If something happens, like it's going to be blamed on the woman. So for example, what I've seen when guys and girls, when they talk to each other for marriage or whatever, it doesn't go well. It always comes out as the woman was the cause of it, or she was the one that was bad, or she's the one that comes out bruised up, and the guy comes out looking clean and looking for another spouse, or just come out there. So that's what I would say. Hey, I would say shut that joint down ASAP. What'd you say?
I would almost take a different approach and just say ignore it. Just leave it. Like don't give it any breath. Like it's not. Oh, yo, you're not in second grade, so it's like okay, cool. I can't like you. And you know what I'm saying? Like if you did, okay, but if I don't, just tell dude, nah, I don't like you. Like it's not that difficult. Just be like, nah, I don't really got no feelings for you, cuz. All right, homie, high five, homeboy, and peace out.
Yeah, tell me when that ever worked.
Well, I don't know this. Oh yeah, it was. Yes, sister. Spiritual goals for 2020. I am trying to make it to Hajj with my mom and dad.
Inshallah.
That's my biggest spiritual goal. What about you?
Biggest spiritual goal of 2020 is to be consistent. You know what I mean? Consistent in prayer and meditating. I wanna work those little things. That way, those little things for me become something that I can master. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to not only miss a prayer, but I want to pray on time and be able to be more involved in the community. So. That's what I would say.
Nice. Next one is, how do you balance, and this is from Mina Muhammad.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out.
Thank you.
Thanks for support. We love you. How do you balance surviving, having a 9 to 5, plus thriving, working towards something you want? This is a very good question.
That's a great question.
I'm sure
there's a lot of people on that same wave, you know?
I think you have to... First off, you need to have a detailed idea of what you want to get out of the thing you're working towards on the side. You need to don't just step into this half footing. You know what I'm saying? Don't come into it half-assed. Like you really need to have an idea of, what do I want to get out of this? Is this just a hobby? Is it just something I want to share with friends? Do I want to eventually leave my job and make this something, right? So you have to go on with a plan, an idea of what you want to get out of it, right? And then understand that you're going to have to work late. Like when I was at DH, right, bro, like we were doing this podcast super late, editing, and then getting up the next day. And I think the balance comes in that we don't talk about this a lot, but you have to have breaks. You have to give yourself time to just like be like, okay, relax. We got that out the way. We did this. Congratulations. Let's take a little time off, and then let's get back to it. So maybe like every other Sunday, or like have your escapism. Like my escapism for a lot of things is football. Is not American football, soccer. Is watching Liverpool. Like that's my escapism. If you follow me on Instagram, you know, like when I watch Liverpool, I don't do nothing else. That's it. I tune everything out. I cut my phone on silent. I don't answer phone calls. I only watch Liverpool because it's the only time I actually have for me. And my family knows that now too. Like even it's crazy. I knew it was getting on people when you were like, yeah, I'm a Liverpool fan now. And now even my dad is asking about Liverpool games. He was like, oh, did they win today? I was like, yeah, we won. And he's like, oh, alhamdulillah. Like for me, that's a big deal. So I think being able to create a schedule know what it is you're working towards, have the idea, and then also being able to have a sense of relief from the grind, have a bit of escapism. What do you think?
For me, what I have to say is that you have to understand that what you're doing may be unnatural, right? What I mean by that is that, dude, you're working a full-time job. Like, you're gonna come off tired, and if your job has nothing to do with what you're doing on the side, like, that's really gonna hurt. That's really gonna mess with you. You know what I mean? Jumping back and forth. But if you actually are pursuing a job that actually helps fuel outside of finance, of that side hustle that you're doing, do you know how much more things are going to be pleasing, a lot more easier? So, for example, I do work a job, but my job is in sales. So what sales does, it helps me communicate a lot more effectively. It helps me with my persistence and networking, which helps me with the podcast because it helps on my vocals and speaking with you guys. So it's one helps feed into another. But if you have a job that has nothing to do with your side job, it's always like an on and off button. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. On, off, on, off, on and off. And that is very unnatural, and you're going to burn out. So understand that, you know what I mean? Understand that you got to put in a lot of work. But like also Jabril said, like, hey, also give your time to like plug out and replenish and understand that you need to heal, you need to rest. So
I like that. Great advice, man. Mm-hmm. Great advice. All right, so now this one's actually leaning right into it. It's a great segue. How not to burn out because of college, work, life, and keep your man strong. I can't give you the answer because we talked about our college episode, and I think if you listen to it, we kind of talk about, especially spiritual burnout. I think that was
we did a specific episode on that. You're gonna have to listen to that one.
Yeah, that was a specific episode.
Bomb episode.
Yeah, we talked about spiritual burnout. That's one of the more recent episodes we did. I think if I could just give it to you very quickly, you have to compartmentalize. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to put everything in this place. Like, college goes college, work is work, and then you have to give yourself that time to just do you. Right? Mm-hmm. You got to give yourself time to read. I think you utilize your prayer time as your time to also study. So after you pray, maybe you read, like, get the app on your phone, the Quran app, and read just like some random ayats. And I used to do it all the time when I was younger. I would just like open it and be like, God, speak to me. And like open it and just read, and I'd be like, thank you, God, and then close it. I think everybody does that, right? And so like taking that time to compartmentalize, like your prayer time, combine your prayer time with your study time, and try and go to events. I think that's even for us, like, try and do events because really then it forces you to actually have to engage and be a part of what's going on, not just trying to like do it on your own. Mm-hmm. Like you have a community, you're forcing yourself to be in more of a community setting.
I like that.
Next question, or you got?
I mean, the only thing I would add is that with spiritual burnout, just understand that it's a real thing. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, it is real.
It's real. So,
what are your goals for 2020? Is to keep doing the podcast and Hajj and pay off all of my debt.
Oh yeah, I think we're on that flow. Yeah. Same. I would have to say
work, baby, work. Will y'all feature more Black Muslim women on the podcast? We love different perspective.
Hey, we are trying, man. Where y'all at? Like, there's people that we're reaching out to that just not getting back to us too. So don't like, if you know people, like, we're here.
Yeah. Well, I also think that we have been getting a lot of suggestions. However, again, like logistics, people don't understand. We only do our podcast guests in person. We're only doing, like, if we were going to take calls, bro, you know how many guests we would have already had?
We'll have like 300 episodes, bro.
Look, remember this, guys. We will be a lot. We are purposely taking a route where we aren't going to be as big.
Yep. On purpose.
Because we feel like we don't want to compromise the quality of this podcast and of this show just for the quantity of numbers. Like, like, that's cool, but there's nothing. You don't really get a good connection with a guest when you do it over the phone. Bro. And that's not a hit out at any of our peers within this field that do that. There's a lot of podcasts that do that, but we don't.
Hey, for example, look, somebody's like, oh yeah, I got 150 episodes. That's cool. Hey, I got 80 episodes. Okay, but all my shows are in person. What?
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah. All my guests are sitting down next to us. You gotta remember, the reason why we do this is also because there's a chemistry, as Mo said earlier in the episode. There's a chemistry that you build with the person.
Priceless.
When you're one, when you have to go through all this stress of getting together, but then two, once you get there and you can break bread with them, we have a process when we meet guests. Like we a very specific process that we do. And it helps us build a rapport with that person so that after the podcast, we can go and hit up Tone. We can hit up Imam Shadi. We can hit up Nadir. We can hit up Mustafa. We can hit up Yusuf. We can hit up SQ. We can hit up Young Muslims Grind. We can hit up Imam Pasha. We can hit all those people up. We can hit up Tariq. We can hit up all those people, you know what I'm saying? And pull up. Mm-hmm. But we couldn't do that if it was just over the phone.
Nah.
There wouldn't be that connection. So that's the reason why we haven't been able to get more, especially young black Muslim women or just black Muslim women in general. Believe you me, we have a very long, extensive list that we have, and we're inshallah going to be able to get a lot of these guests onto the podcast because we're working. Do y'all have any stories that shaped you? Perhaps a story time of sorts.
Oh no, that's the whole point of the podcast.
this is story time. But if there is one story like that comes to mind, what comes to mind for you, Mo?
Just the story of how we met, because that's how. That's the whole premise and the.
How I Met Your Brother.
Look, the reason our background and the way we met is the whole reason of why we started the podcast. Two guys from a whole different background, but experiencing the same things here in America. You feel me? So the real young and Muslim struggle here in America. I mean, that's what I would say, bro.
Yeah.
That's just to keep it 100.
Agreed.
To keep it a bean, keep it a stack.
Keep it a bean. I think one of the stories that has shaped me, I think the story just of my childhood, man. And like I had this, if some of you guys notice, I have a scar on my forehead, and that scar, I'll talk about it probably more, maybe on my own personal page, I'll talk about it, but that scar on my forehead has shaped me personally, about, insecurity and about, just like self-belief and so on and so forth. And then just even having, asking God like why, and then realizing why you have certain things, like just being comfortable with who you are and so on and so forth. So I think that's a very personal story, but it's definitely one that has shaped me as the man I am today. Should being Muslim mean Islamic? Being Muslim is nicer than being Islamic. Like that one.
What are they?
Next question.
Are they trying to say don't be like a textbook Muslim, like
being Muslim? So I think there is a difference between Muslim and Islam, right? Muslim is someone that submits to the will of God.
That's what. That's the definition of being a Muslim.
And Islam is the religion, right? So you can be a Muslim, but not contextually under the context of Islam.
That's why everybody's born Muslim.
Exactly.
Because they submitted to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
I mean, even if you like that verse around the Quran, there were Muslims before Muslims. Look at Abraham, Jesus. You tell me they aren't Muslim? They're the prophets.
They were Muslim, but Islam was formed when our prophet, peace and praise be upon him, got the revelation. So that's when Islam started, but they were always Muslims.
Exactly.
Got it.
That's the difference. I like how we brought that back around. That was difficult. I was panicking just a little bit. How to respond when somebody says Happy New Year and expects me to congratulate them? Say Happy New Year back, bro. It's a new year. Like, stop being a dick.
You guys know we have Islamic New Year too, right?
Yeah. Like, so say Happy New Year on both ends. My God, man, why are you being why are you so mean, Ishmael? Hi, Young and Muslim. Your page is awesome. Hey, thanks.
Hey, thank you.
Fit and bougie.
Who Fit and bougie? Oh, is that
Fit and bougie? We appreciate you. Thank you.
I thought that's what they called us. And
that was wow. I did not think we were going to leave off the last question with me calling somebody a name. Yeah, that's all the questions that we got.
Wow.
Thank you guys. Thank you for your questions. We really appreciate it.
I felt like I was on the hot seat for a little bit.
Yeah. Man, 2019 has been amazing. You guys, and this is we do this all the time, but very heartfelt. You guys are awesome. You guys rock because without you, the listeners, the viewers, shout out to our SoundCloud and our Apple iTunes and CastBox and Google Play listeners. You guys are the best. Without you guys listening, we wouldn't be here. I remember the days when we literally had no one listening to episodes, and we were doing episodes twice a week. We were working our butts off, and no one was listening. And the fact that now we're getting thousands of people over different various countries listening to us, the fact that you guys take the time to DM us is amazing, and we really appreciate that.
Hey, you guys are the best part of Sprint. That's something that Sprint says. You are the best part of Sprint. So I love that, because you guys are the best thing of the podcast. It's the Young and Muslim family, to be honest with you, bro. Like, don't need to go into those details. Y'all know, without y'all, we wouldn't have not gotten this far. And I mean that by the pit, of my heart, for like
the pit of my.
I love y'all for I love you, bro. I love my family.
love you too, bro. No. On some real stuff though. Y'all don't get it. Like to do this has been difficult, man. We've reached a lot of just like, yo, like, is this worth it, bro? Like mentally, like physically, I'm losing it right now. and I think that we've gotten messages from people that are like, if you guys quit, I'll kill you. Yeah. Don't let there not be an episode next week. Like, we've had people threaten us. You know what I'm saying?
I'll pull up.
So you guys do motivate us. When if I could go back to that question and say, who was your biggest motivator in 2019, it's definitely you guys. You guys have. Absolutely. And I know that's the most cliche sounding answer ever, but it's true. Every episode you guys hitting us like, oh my God, like, bro, how many messages do we get where people are like, oh my God, like that episode I needed to hear that, it came right on time. And I'm like, really? You know how many episodes we done where I was like, Mo, that was a bad one.
This might be our last.
Hoorah. Yeah, no one's listening to this one, and then it ends up being one of our most listened to episodes. People just love it, right? It's just crazy to me, and I can't find the words to thank you guys enough. And even like the meetup, bro, the fact that people DM us, and the fact that people pull up on us when we go places,
mind blowing.
Like, you guys don't get it. Like, it's just like, wow, you guys really take this potting thing to a whole nother level that we are just we have so much gratitude towards, Mo's getting restless now. I think I'm getting in my heart right now. I'm getting in my.
You in your bag?
Yeah, I'm in my heart bag. I love you guys, man. Right. Like, y'all have really made this year something memorable. And shout out to every guest that we've had, whether it be the IG lives, whether it be the podcast. You guys are awesome. We've made some valuable friends. We've connected with people that we thought were going to take so long to connect with. Shout out to God.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to God, because God made all this perfect, all this possible. Absolutely. And everything happens in God's time. And so, whether we're impatient or whether we're trying to, we're patient or impatient, everything happens in God's timing. Man plans, God laughs. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to God. You the big homie.
I loved how we started off 2019 making episodes with you guys, and we're ending the year off, man. We're gonna start a new year with the Young and Muslim family. I mean, the goal for 2020 is for us to be inclusive, because we have to grow ourselves. You know what I mean? We can't be competing against one each other and pushing each other to the side and say, no, I got something better than you. Like, bro, you gotta understand, like, we are not each other's competition. It's the things that are on the outside that's hurting our image. You know what I mean? That's hurting Muslims. That's what the real fight is against. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you understand what you're fighting for and who you're fighting against. You shouldn't be fighting against your brothers and sisters. Those are the people that we need on our team. We need y'all to be strong. We need y'all to support us and bring us up, because we're doing the same thing, and that's what this platform is. It's a two-way street, and also it's a place where you guys can hang out too.
Yeah,
you know
yeah. Come and kick it with your boys. 2020 coming. You guys are gonna be able to see us a lot more in person.
Yes.
Someone did ask, are we gonna do more
meetups
on the road, like meetups and lives? I don't think I missed that question. I think, are we gonna do more? Yes, this coming year, as you
more
guys,
spontaneous things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't want everything to be too structured. We might hit you with a live that's just random. If you ever see us go live, hop on it. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be a gem.
But in person stuff though, like we are traveling a lot this year. We'll be more in the big cities this year. We'll be doing meetups. We'll be doing live podcasts. We'll be doing more conferences. We'll be speaking and just attending conferences. So it'll be dope just to pull up.
Come say hi.
Yeah,
if you know who we are, come say hi. We're not gonna, you know what I'm saying? We're not like Jordan. We give autographs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's all good vibes and smiles. You feel me? You feel me? So, yeah, listen, 2019 is ending, but 2020 has just begun, my friends. So, remember, take us with you everywhere on all of your social medias, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Just look up the Young and Muslim Podcast. Mo, how can the good people listen to us, my friend?
They can listen to us on all of the major platforms, streaming now on SoundCloud, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Apple iTunes. I mean, you name it, all the major platforms. You can also watch us on YouTube. Please subscribe. Should we end this thing off with a nice prayer? Oh, yeah, Allah, I ask that you bless all of the Young and Muslim family and all of the Ummah, and help all those that have been oppressed, depressed, and dealing with anything that they just don't know how they'll get out of, man.
Like stress.
Oh, ya Allah.
Had to bring that around.
Keep us together. That's all. I think that's the thing about 2020, man. Oh, ya Allah. Keep us together, man. So, would you add anything to that, big bro?
Keep us striving, thriving in the hard times, enduring and surviving. You feel me?
Ameen. Love y'all, man.
Love y'all. Love y'all. So
we haven't had an episode like this, man. This is lovely, bro.
Ever. You want to know why? Because you only get to 2020 once. Hey. So for the last 35 minutes, you guys have been listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast. I'm Jabril Salam.
And Muhammad Hassan.
And we leave you with the greens of peace.
Assalamu
alaikum.
Peace out, 2020.
Hey, Happy New Year.